I need to find a daycare for the kiddos. I'm happy I got Wonderful situated, and I can't wait for all of my children to be at the same place. Actually, I kind of feel heavy because Wonderful can come to school over here now. In the beginning, if you watch my videos, I kept saying, oh, they got a VPK. I want Wonderful to come to their VPK. Finally, he gets accepted into their VPK program. However, they don't have a start date. They still haven't gotten approved for their license in Florida. They want me to pay a $300 registration fee, but I wouldn't know when Wonderful would start. After that, I would pay $1,048, I believe, $1,048 a month for him to go to VPK here, versus where he is now. I'm paying $1,400 because I don't have the VPK certificate, which I could get this week. They was like, get it, you'll save $355. But I'm on the fence because the daycare he's at for VPK, he can go from, I believe it's 6 to 6 or 6:30 to 6, versus school, he'll be going the same exact hours as his other siblings. And then his other siblings do have tutoring that they're starting today from 4 to 5 every day. So it's like, do I really want to put him at the same school, even though I know they're not going to be on the exact same schedule, versus leaving him at the daycare? At least he'll be with his other 3 siblings, although they won't be in the same classroom. So it's a dilemma. Thank you. It's a dilemma, like one of those, should I pay the $300 and possibly lose it if I don't send him here? And also, it could be one of those things where if the daycare don't work out for him, at least he can come here eventually, late September or early October, which is supposed to be the start date at the daycare for Phenomenal. So I was like, of course, I'll figure it out. I am Phenomenal Peach. It always, always, always works out for me. Everything does. But I'm going to call around to the local daycares and see what we come up on. My husband is doing a good job watching the kids, but not to my standards. Like, I would like for my kids to be on a strict schedule. I would like for my children to go outside every day. I would like for my children to be working on handwriting, getting read to, things of that nature. My husband, he kind of have them on the schedule. He makes sure they eat. He makes sure they're alive. He put it on Miss Rachel, and that's pretty much it. He not like hands-on doing stuff with them. So for me, I feel like that's not good enough for me. It's good enough, to keep him alive. He like one of those hood babysitters, basically. Like, y'all know growing up, when your mama ain't have a lot of money, she might have sent you with your grandma, the lady in the hood that watched all the kids. In my case, my great-grandma was the lady in the hood that watched all the kids. And they're going to have you watching the stories, the movies they like to watch. They might let you run outside and might not. It was never really a strict schedule. I want my children on a very strict schedule. When I go to sleep, I need my whole house to go to sleep because we all are on the same schedule kind of thing. Now, if my husband wants to take a nap, the kids take a nap. So I appreciate him watching our other kids while I worked so that I could afford daycare. But now that I can afford daycare, my goal is to have my little babies in daycare starting Monday. So we're going to look all week. Even if I have to go to different locations, it's fine. I get up in the morning at anyways between 4 and 4:30 a.m. So that's absolutely okay. And then once we get everybody, here's all the traffic. Look, I was wondering what all the traffic was. Everybody coming at the same time today. Maybe they got caught at that other school or something. I've never seen this much cars. It was such a smooth day earlier versus now it's a lot of cars. But back to what I was saying, I do appreciate my husband. I know the kids are safe with him. He's not going to let anything happen to them. But I don't feel like that's how I want my children to be watched. Y'all know me. I want my kids to go outside. If I was home with my kids, we'll be going to the museums, aquariums, zoos. I would be coloring with them, having them in like little mom and dad classes, like those little mommy and me classes, daddy and me classes in the morning, taking them to the library. And my husband, he's not doing that. I don't think he will commit to doing that. He might do it once and then quit. So I'd rather send them to daycare. Although it's going to be expensive. Last time we put all the kids in daycare, it was an additional $10,000 a month. With tutoring, because the older kids aren't going to go to before or after care, but the price of tutoring is still around that. Tutoring is $3,700. Then when we add in daycare for those 4 other kids, we're going to still be looking at about $10,000, maybe $8,000 additional dollars a month. However, that'll give me time to really work. And even if I want to work overtime after school, my husband hasn't had the kids all day, so he shouldn't feel frustrated like, damn, I've been watching the kids, all she do is work. He should eagerly watch them, and they should go to bed on time. So that's my plan. My goal for this year financially, I'm not going to tell y'all, but it requires have a good day, a lot of work. I gotta work really hard and smart. All right, Peach Patch, current time is 8:38. I have successfully made it back to the park, and I'm about to go ahead and start my work day and look for a daycare. I'm gonna call around first, and then I'll schedule some tours and things of that nature. Paying $10,000 a month for daycare is expensive. However, if I could pay $10,000 a month and go make $100,000 a month, it's not a dumb decision. Now, once I buy back my freedom, I'll be able to be with my children 24/7.